Lewis Ferguson is smashing it right now in European football, but should he be given that same opportunity when Scotland go to the Euros? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and we asked the question, should Lewis Ferguson start for Scotland ahead of the Euros and in the upcoming international friendlies against Netherlands and Northern Ireland? And pretty identical to the previous poll that we put up with Shankland. 87% saying yes, Lewis Ferguson should start because he's playing great in a top league. 13% saying no, Scotland are better midfielders. In the Shankland poll, 88% of people believe that Shankland should start, with 12% saying no. So very similar here. And basically what I'm seeing, is that people want to see players that are playing well get an opportunity. And they want to see what the likes of Shankland and Lewis Ferguson can do from the beginning of a game, and not just with 10 minutes left at the end.
Absolutely, we could sound like broken records and repeat everything we said about Shankland for Ferguson, but here, brand new Fed. What I would say is, I think with Shankland, I genuinely think he is the best striker you've got, but when you play striker, it's more or less just one. Midfield is always like 3, 4, 2, whatever. I think with Ferguson, on form, he probably is the best midfielder.
Yeah, I'm not saying overall, I'm not saying ability-wise he's the best, but on form, it would be hard to say that he's not up there.
Yeah. You look at...
on form, he has to start.
Cal McGregor's no in, right? So that rules him out. Billy Gilmore. I'm not saying... But see with Ferguson, right? He's scoring goals. And I just feel like when you're adding goals to your game and assists, the numbers take hold of... statistics a lot more than what somebody in midfield who controls a game will do.
And I don't think Scotland can refuse that. Someone that's a midfielder that can add goals, that's something that Scotland need.
Yeah, that is something that Scotland need, and I think your midfield for this, Gilmore, Ferguson, McGinn.
McTominay? No? Drop him?
But I think Ferguson, McTominay and McGinn, they're all they're goal scoring midfielders.
Oh, McTominay...
You know what McGinn and McTominay are going to give you, right? Give Ferguson a game.
McTominay has played defensively a lot in his career.
No, he has.
Especially for United. And at one point he was playing centre-back for Scotland. So I'd say McTominay can...
People want him to play up front as well.
True. I'd say that McTominay can pretty much play anywhere. Through the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a centre-back, but...
We've kind of seen his play, though, where, like, 2 up top, and McGinn be the false 9. So maybe you could play McGinn behind Shankland or something, or McTominay behind Shankland, and then you can put Ferguson into the midfield with them.
Yeah, could you see McGinn and Gilmore sit deeper with Ferguson and McTominay, push further forward, or it could be Ferguson and McGinn push further forward with McTominay sitting deeper with Gilmore. I mean, there's lots of options, but I think with Cal McGregor out, this is probably the best chance that Lewis Ferguson has, and with his current form, he's unlikely to hit a better purple patch than what he's doing right now at Bologna.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. See these games, no one's going to have a go if we experiment against the Dutch and get beat. But see if he just plays the same starting 11 that we've seen and we just lose like 2-1, it's going to feel like, what was the point then?
Yeah, if he plays Ferguson and Shankland and we lose, well, people are going to be like, well, we lost. At least we got to see what those two can offer. But if we lose and we don't try them, then you're going to be getting, why didn't he try Ferguson and Shankland? So, for me, it's a no-brainer. I think Ferguson and Shankland should both start. Let's see what you guys think. 33 comments. Andrew Taggart. With McGregor out, I would start him, but Clark has his favourites. He does have his favourites, but hopefully Clark can see through this. ST Soto says he's a level above McGregor, in my opinion. He can play deep or the number 10 role, plays in a far superior league, and will end up at a top European club this summer. We aren't gifted with talent in every area. We need to start getting guys like Lewis into the starting lineup, or we risk letting the usual 11 get old and having no one to slot in. You don't see great progression from under-21s to the main squad yet. You do in England. We could end up in a similar position to Wales if we don't do this properly. And a bunch of black flags. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with that. I think you just can't keep the same 11, but I think with Clark you do have a differentiate between a lot of midfielders and defenders. I mean, sometimes it's through injury, but just start. But I'm actually more faith that you'd start Shankland over Ferguson.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of not fair. Musical Addiction says he deserves a chance 100% in warm-up games. That's why we have them. I agree. Demon Doink says McGregor should be dropped. He's had a poor season and is past his best in my opinion. Play Gilmore, who's playing week in, week out at a higher level ahead of him. Then fit in Ferguson somewhere. A midfield of Gilmore, Ferguson, McGinn and McTominay just ahead of them would be very good. I agree. I think that is a 4-man midfield, and you can decide who's sitting deeper and who's been more advanced. But
see if those four play with Shankland up top and Craig Gordon starting at nets tomorrow, I'll be a happy guy.
I genuinely believe that midfield is up there with some of the best midfields we've ever had.
Yeah, here you can throw McGregor in.
Yeah, even if you take one of them out, even if you take Ferguson out and put in McGregor, I mean, right now we do have the best midfield that we've had in a very, very long time.
It's young, it's got legs, it's got physicality,
yeah,
it's got technicality, it's got everything. It's got goals, it's got fucking everything. What else do you want?
For me, I still believe John McGinn is the best midfielder that we have, and my opinion probably is not going to change on that.
Yep.
But I definitely want to see Lewis Ferguson in there. Gerald Ray says, honestly, Ferguson's never impressed me. I couldn't pick out an attribute that separates him. He's not a patch on his Uncle Barry or his dad in their prime. However, he deserves a start. Let's see what he gives us that stands out. Well, I would say his current form is impressive.
It is.
The season that he's having
I've never watched
impressive.
a Bologna game in full. And I doubt you have, Gerald. So, I mean, come on.
Neither of you.
Neither of you. But here, am I going to pretend that what he done at Aberdeen was good enough from the start for Scotland? No, but what he's doing in Serie A, I mean, I would say...
Well, you say that, but what he was doing at Aberdeen was good enough to get him a move to Serie A.
Yeah, no, but
So therefore, is that not good enough to get him a game for Scotland?
Yeah, but my point is, I don't think what he was doing at Aberdeen was quite like what McGinn was doing at Hibs and other players who've got moves. But what he's doing at Bologna, he's carrying it. Every time you look on Twitter, Ferg does it again.
And he's captain.
Aye.
And anytime you look, he's linked with all these big moves.
Yeah. DC Milan.
How many times has McGregor been linked to a big move out of curiosity?
So many times, every day.
Barry Ferguson, the guy played for Blackburn, for fuck's sake. It wasn't even title winning Blackburn, it was shitey Blackburn who were mid-table at best.
I think this could just be someone that's raging that we didn't sign Lewis Ferguson.
Well, at the time, Rangers fans were saying Lewis Ferguson wasn't good enough, so it is what it is. Gerald Ray, Italian football is not what it used to be. The clubs are all skin and the quality is way down. When you can say it's not what it used to be, and that's a fair comment, but let's not... The clubs are all skin. Have you seen Scottish football? And is the quality way down? I would say Italian football...
It's actually got better recently.
I would say it's better right now than it's been since at any time since the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
See, from like the latter 2000s till like the last few years, I don't think Italian football was that good at all.
No.
I mean, that's why Juventus were pretty much untouchable in it.
Yeah.
Now you have Napoli, Inter Milan, AC are back to somewhat near their best. We have Roma up there, Lazio, there's Atlanta. There's like loads of good teams now in the Serie A. There's like, it's competitive. So I do think that Serie A has...
It's nowhere near what it used to be. But it used to be the best league in Europe.
Yeah.
So...
And now it's just one of the best teams in Europe, so it is what it is. Archie Sutherland said, our team should be Gunn, Robbo, Tierney, Hendry, Porto, Hickey, McGregor, McTominay, McGinn, Ferguson, Shankland. Thoughts on that team?
I mean, it can't happen because McGregor's out injured, but if you want to talk about for the Euros, then... I mean, I couldn't really...
I'd be confident with that team.
Yeah, I would be.
I mean, I can see why there maybe be one change or two that you'd like to make, but...
I think McTominay, McGinn and Ferguson, it depends who you're against. That might be overkill.
Yeah, I don't think we're going with that against the top side.
Aye.
But...
by all means, if that's a game where we need a win, then yes.
Let's see what the replies to this are, because I think McGregor shouldn't be starting in a Scotland team this season. That's where Ferguson should be able to slot in. Make McGregor work for his place. We need to see progression instead of the same 11 faces. Right. I think one reason why McGregor shouldn't necessarily be starting for Scotland right now is some Celtic fans are asking him to be dropped for Iwata.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you where Cal McGregor is right now.
Aye, and where Cal McGregor is right now is behind potentially number 6 at Celtic. Iwata, I think he's been alright recently, but McGregor's had a bad season, man. Let's not pretend the guy's been great.
Archie Sutherland, McGregor is one of the most consistent players for Scotland. I'm going to be honest, right? See, when I watch Scotland, he's never really a player that stands out for me. he kind of just blends in.
There is players
Now,
who
maybe
go
that's
under the radar. And
Yeah.
I'll defend the guy to a degree, right? Even though I really shouldn't. But I think he is massively overrated.
All I'm saying is, right, see the big games that Scotland winning, when I think the midfield, more often than not, I'm looking at McGinn or McTominay.
Yeah.
That's won us the game.
He kind of reminds me of like a...
Or you're saying, look how good Gilmore looks for someone that young.
Yeah.
He looks like Gilmore's playing like an experienced fucking player. I never really... Scotland never finished a game, and I'm thinking, what, McGregor won us that game. He was the difference maker. I just don't really feel that with McGregor.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he's that good that he makes it look... I'm not denying that.
He
That
reminds
could be the
me
case.
of like a Michael Carrick, a guy who...
I think that's a good comparison, actually.
A guy who was
But I'm going to be honest, I never really thought Michael Carrick was
Yeah,
that good.
but I was like, I think Michael Carrick's a bit pish.
Well, I never thought he was pish, like, but, you know, I just...
No, when I say a bit pish, I mean, because Michael Carrick, some people would put Michael Carrick in like a Fiera Keane category. They would. Maybe that's delusional United fans, but here, I think McGregor's good. I'm not going to pretend he's awful, but the hype he gets, man, he would have got to move away. He's better than Brown. I think he's streets ahead of Brown.
Scott Brown?
Aye. Shaggy Pants Brown.
I mean, I prefer Scott Brown as a captain
That's a character.
and a character, but as a player...
Go for Rangers men, though.
As a player, I think Cal McGregor's better than Scott Brown.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage says, would love to see a diamond with Ferguson, McGinn, McGregor and McTominay.
Yep.
Could work. Crooked Winkle Picker. The boy's on fire. He's their captain. He's one of their best performing players week in, week out. Looking for a nice wee payout when he's sold on. Stand free. Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. Aye.
I tell you what, that's something Aberdeen have done right, though, in recent years. They're actually getting selling fees for their players. And see, you look at the players Aberdeen have moved on, they've actually, created quite a few good...
No, they have.
Be interesting to see what happens with Calvin Ramsey.
I wonder how much they've got, though, in there. Well, Calvin Ramsey's went off the boil.
No, but I think it'll be interesting to see where he is in a few years' time. If he has improved, or if he just never really turns it to be anything.
I think he'll be shite. Sorry to burst his bubble.
Oh, there you go. Stuart Burnett said he should start, but Steve Clark won't pick him. Your dad, by the way, best Scottish midfielder right now, in my opinion, so he has to start in these friendly games in Germany, more than Scotland. Mark Anthony, where are your best players? What do you mean, where are your best players? Midfield, obviously. Well, that's a bit of a weird comment. Robert Sutherland said, I still can't believe Celtic or Rangers signed him. I still can't believe, they didn't sign him. He's going to end up at Juve or Inter. We've seen at Aberdeen how good he was, but usual with Celtic and Rangers don't want to buy Scottish players, would rather buy a couple of numpties from abroad. Is that a fair comment here? From Robert?
I think it is. I have no reason why the old firm didn't try.
I have no idea why they didn't buy him again. So Celtic were too cheap, I think that was the reason, but... And they say that's why Brendan Rodgers essentially left. Apparently it was the McGinn deal that...
I know, but see this logic that, the physical, aggressive Scottish league, but in Italy you can play football. I think there's so many players, though, that have come up to Scotland, and it's like, they shouldn't work here. But you look at Fabio Silva, I seen a guy, it's like, this guy's probably going to get ripped to shreds, but I think Fabio Silva's been really good.
Is Joey Barton not considered a physical, aggressive player?
Joey Barton's
And he was fucking pissed, though.
And he's got decent takes on Twitter, I'll give him that, but I mean, playing-wise, he was a shite bastard.
Well, that's pretty fair. Crooked Winkle Pick. Who cares that he didn't play for an arse cheek? He's doing amazing. An arse cheek? I guess he means Celtic Rangers. Who's the left? Who's the right?
I'd say Rangers are right, Celtic are left. If you know, you know. But
I imagine he might end his career at Rangers, and Robbo and McGinn might do the same at Celtic. ST Soros said, he'd have went to Rangers. He's not the same player we see today. As for not being able to handle the physicality aspect of Scottish football, are you having a laugh? Ryan Jack, Scott Wright, David Turnbull, John Suter, Ryan Christie, to name a few. Are you drunk, Robert? Ouija's are fucking hilarious. In fairness, Rangers and Celtic would probably have ruined the lad. Would they have ruined the lad? I don't know. I mean, I think if Lewis Ferguson went to Rangers, by now he'd be a starting 11 player, wouldn't he?
Oh, I think he would be, but what I would
be,
say is I think with Rangers and Celtic there is a ceiling. I think if the guy's doing it in Surrey, it does look more impressive, scoring goals against like AC Milan week in, week out. But here, he could be doing it in Europe.
Could be doing it in Europe anyway. Cross Carrier says, on paper, absolutely, but it doesn't always work out that way. Look at a player like Stephen Fletcher, who was a regular start for Man United. I always thought that Rangers and Celtic midfielders of that time were better than him. Lewis should have definitely been in the mix, but it shouldn't be that you play in Italy, so you must play. That's a daft Scottish attitude we have.
Darren Fletcher.
Darren Fletcher. So, Cross Carrier reckons that Darren Fletcher wasn't a great player. Rangers and Celtic had better midfielders, but he only played because he played for Manchester United. What's your thoughts on that? I'm going to be honest, I actually never really rated Darren Fletcher.
I think maybe Darren Fletcher's a better comparison than Michael Carrick. I never got it.
I never got it either, but at the same time, I don't really know if we had, like, you know, far more superior midfielders.
No, that was a time when
the
the midfield was pish, I think, but...
Well, I'm trying to think who was actually the options back then. I believe you had, like, an aging Barry Ferguson. You'd Scott Brown. Outside Charlie Adam. I'm trying to think who was our options then in midfield.
That is quite bleak, though.
Barry Bannon.
Aye.
I mean, I didn't think Darren Fletcher was that good, but Nigel Kouassi. I didn't think Darren Fletcher was great, but I'm just not really seeing at that time where the better players were coming from.
No, I never get.
Stephen Pearson. I mean, where was the?
I never got Darren Fletcher.
Well, Cross Carrier saying Rangers and Celtic had better midfielders at the time. Who were they?
You fucking tell me.
Who's that guy that Rangers had Smith in midfield? Was it Ross Smith or something? Or Liam Smith? Lewis Smith?
They're the one, yeah.
Well, no, but I'm trying to think of the better Rangers and Celtic midfielders that they had at the time. Because they're not coming to me.
Maybe he's over-exaggerating there, but I'm not going to pretend that Darren Fletcher was the man.
No, I don't think he's the man, but I think at that time, we just didn't really have a great midfield.
I thought the midfield was pish.
And I think we do have a great midfield, so... Yeah, let's see what the replies are here, though. Darren Fletcher, Lewis needs much more game time at international level before starting any tournament. Yeah, but he needs to get game time, doesn't he? He can't get game time at international level if he's not given a chance.
Exactly.
So, aye. Cross Carrier, was Stephen Fletcher the striker with the hairline? I always mix them up. How can you fucking mix them up? I mean, two completely different players.
Yeah, one's a striker.
I think he meant Darren Fletcher, man. You correct. Not sure if folk can get their wires crossed on them, to be honest, even with the same surname. Yeah, totally two different players. Because Gordon Strachan was a shite Scotland manager. Fuck, Gordon Strachan was alright, though. She's easily confused. And Daniel says, bro, Lewis Fergie has had a better season than every middler we can offer.
I just read that's Fiddler there.
Musical addiction. He definitely deserves a chance this week. I agree. He deserves a chance. I want to see something different. I want to see Ferguson and Shankland in the starting 11 for the Holland game.
It goes
do
for
it,
everyone,
Steve Clark. Yes, do it.
It goes for... Even if someone shite get called up, I'd be like, throw him in.
Right.
Like, even if it's a complete wild card, a guy we've never heard of, may as well try him. It's what it's for.
I 100% agree. So hopefully that's what happens. Same for in the nets. I don't want to see the boring option of Gunn. I want to see if Craig Gordon can still go international level. Let's do it. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.